Now I'd like to invite Kevin Wallace to the podium for the induction of Chris Kannady.
Good afternoon, distinguished members and guests. I'm so honored to have the opportunity to introduce to you a true All-American hero. He is receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award today, and it's a proud moment for this prestigious fraternity. It's my honor to introduce a friend, a fellow fraternity brother from the class of 1997, a state representative, and Colonel Chris Kannady. Colonel Kannady and I came in the legislature, the House of Representatives, the year of the fall of 2014, and if God's willing, we'll leave together in 2026. Chris and I shared an office together for the first few years in the legislative service. We created and formed a great bond during that time. It's been said that we're a package deal. If you find Chris, you'll usually find me pretty well close, or vice versa. We've had each other's backs in numerous situations, and there's no one better I'd trust to be in a foxhole together. If you need a warrior in your fight, Chris is your guy. Colonel Kannady is not only an American hero, he's an Oklahoma hero. In fact, he's an Oklahoman through and through. Chris says it's his strong Oklahoma foundation that helped him make it through the tough times. Chris says that foundation helped him defend our country through the world for more than 20 years. Chris is a graduate of the University of Oklahoma. He holds 3 degrees, a Bachelor in Arts and Letters, a Juris Doctorate from OU College of Law, and an MBA. While at OU, Chris served Student Body Vice President, Chair of the Graduate Student State Senate, and also Vice President of the Student Body. His propensity for leadership started very early. Chris was still in college when the terrorist attacks of 9/11 happened. He knew that he would soon answer his call for duty for the country, but he stayed and finished his law degree first. He entered his active duty in the United States Marine Corps in 2004. Chris is married to his high school sweetheart, Renee. They have 2 children, Shelby and Cannon. It was very soon after their marriage that Chris was deployed to Iraq. We served as a prosecutor and handled detain operations. Chris and Renee are raising their 2 children with the upbringing that they had in their life, the foundation of both faith and love. Renee currently works at the Children's Hospital, and Chris continues to help his fellow veterans at the law firm of Foshee and Yaffe. Chris spent years in the Marines traveling across the world in the U.S. He was deployed 3 times to Afghanistan and once to Iraq. While serving in the Marines, Chris furthered his education with a master's degree at George Washington University in National Security and Foreign Relations. After a serious injury to his knee in Afghanistan, Chris came home from the Marines. As a disabled vet, he continues to serve his country in the National Guard. His rank is colonel, and he serves as a staff judge advocate. I will tell you again, there's no better friend to have than Chris Kannady. He's a friend that sticks closer than a brother, and he is my brother as today in a new sense of the word. It's more than just an honor, it's a personal privilege for me to recognize him for this Lifetime Achievement Award of the Pi Kappa Alpha fraternity. Chris absolutely exemplifies the leadership and the success of the fraternity bond that is so valued to this organization. Please help me welcome and celebrate Colonel Chris Kannady.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, I was at the Bar Association award presentation with Andrew M. Coates, and I got a phone call before that said I was going to get this prestigious award, the President's Award. Very similar to here. I got a phone call, I'm going to get this big award, it's a big deal. And I figured out that anytime Andrew M. Coates is getting an award, my dreams are going to get crushed because his award is always going to be bigger and better than mine. And then they did the same thing to me at that awards presentation as they did at this one. I have to speak after him, which is equally as excruciatingly painful. I love him. He has a saying that I 100% believe in, and that is, you're like a turtle on the top of a fence post. You didn't get there on your own, and neither did Andrew M. Coates. I spoke to the brothers in the room about Chairman Kevin Wallace before he was initiated, so I'm not going to belabor that introduction, and I think he laid out exactly where our relationship stands. I will just tell you that this state runs the way it does because of him. I will also say this. So in order to be successful as brothers, we have to have a strong family. And Kevin alluded to that. My wife, Renee, is here. My daughter, Shelby, is here. My son, Cannon, had a very serious, important meeting at the lake, so he couldn't make it. But I'm very glad Shelby's here because my daughter is a teenager, and she believes that any word that might be uttered out of my mouth at any point in time will embarrass her. And I absolutely revel in that. That's one of my pastimes. So we are up here. Judge Mussman said it. We're up here with many giants in Pi Kappa Alpha. Judge, I will remind you that Kevin Wallace controls your budget, by the way. Just remember that. But I look at the people that I'm up here with who won this award. It's prestigious. 3 of us are lawyers. Okay, Bill, there's still time. I hear that Andy Coates has a law school. I'm sure they'd let you in. But no, this is an incredible honor to be up here. But this really isn't about those of us that are sitting at these two tables. It's really about the undergraduates that are in the room. And I am very excited to see, I think it's 900 undergraduates that we have at this convention. And this really is about you all. So I have been a member of 2 organizations where I believe I learned all my leadership skills. One was Pi Kappa Alpha, and one was the United States Marine Corps. And I will tell you they were equally important. But what I'll tell you is this, and Judge Mussman alluded to this. Leadership is something that you really have to, it's almost like osmosis. You have to be mentored, you have to learn, you got to get experience, you got to stay involved. But once you learn how to be a leader, you got to work hard. The 90% of what you got to do to be successful, to stand up here, is to work hard. I kid with Bill Vogel, but Bill Vogel gave me my first ever award, Pi Kappa Alpha, the Ultimate Fraternity Man Award. He saw something in me or didn't, or had no one else he could find to give the award. But my time started there. My time started with people teaching me leadership. People like, he was the regional president at the time, people like Bill Vogel. Mentors like John Michael Williams. I showed John Michael, I brought my pen today from the Toronto convention that he presided over. And of course, I had the just absolute opportunity to be at Andrew M. Coates Hall when Andrew M. Coates was the dean. And he is the same now as he was then. One quick story I will tell, my boss in the Guard and I went to law school together. He outranks me, so don't tell him I'm telling this story. He's a general. The very first time I met him, he was walking down the ramp in the back of the law school, and he needed back in the school, and someone was locking up the door, and he goes up to said person, this is the now general, and says, "Hey, can I get in the building?" And he says, "No, it's closed." And this particular general says, "Well, are you the janitor?" And Dean Andrew M. Coates said, "Well, no, but I work here." But he was a people person then. He was a servant then. And he told me last night something that is something important. He said, you know, the hardest part about service is you can't make any money. You got to pick one or the other. But I'll tell you, the service part is priceless. So to those undergraduates that are here, look forward and then look ahead in your lives of what you want to accomplish and do it. Put forth the effort. Accept failure when you have to. Accept success when it comes forward. But do it. To the people who made the selection of me for this award, I am immensely grateful. I look, and we all feel like we're younger than we really are. And so I'll leave you with this. This is a Lifetime Achievement Award, but I feel like I could probably do some more stuff. Maybe not. So I will leave you with this quote that most of you undergrads probably have never heard of the movie, but Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Okay? I am not dead yet. Thank you.